Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss book 49 in R.L. Stine's Goosebumps original series, Vampire Breath. This came out November of 96. Okay, 114 pages long, very quick. The vampire featured on this cover is not the main character vampire. This is not Count Nightwing. This is some other vampire in the castle of Count Nightwing. Fine. I'm fine with that. Totally fine. Vampire Breath is a blue bottle with a label on it. Vampire Breath gives vampires life. It smells disgusting. And vampires obviously need to drink blood, right? So that's the mythology in these particular vampires. So I'm not completely disregarding the cover art, as I've done in many other reviews because we've had problems. Count Nightwing, there we go, is, doesn't have fangs through this book. This vampire clearly has fangs, and Nightwing gets fangs at the very end of the book where he remembers where he placed his fangs. Very interesting plot twist of that. But I'm okay with this. This is another vampire in the castle of Count Nightwing. So, main characters, Freddy Martinez and his friend Kara. We start out with them babysitting this kid, this local neighborhood kid, telling him a spooky story about a werewolf. And then, you know, the kid's parents come back from wherever they were, give them each $5 and say, you know, you shouldn't be scaring him so much. And then they're like, yeah, but he likes it. And then he's like, yeah, I like it. It was funny. So then two of them, Kara and Freddy, go into Freddy's basement. He has a whole game room, basically. So there's an air hockey table, there's a pool table, a bunch of other stuff going on. And so one point they're like, you know, fake wrestling each other, and like Freddy pushes Kara a little harder than he should have, and she pushes him back even harder, and they crash into this cabinet, this china closet, basically. Curio cabinet, that's the proper term, that then falls, and it's revealed that there's a door behind it, and they're like, where is it? We never knew this existed. So they open the door, they go through the tunnel, they take their flashlights, and they see this giant empty room with a coffin inside. And they're like, this is weird. So they didn't understand what's going on. They open the coffin, nothing's there except a blue bottle that says Vampire Breath. They inadvertently open it, and then it smells disgusting, and then all of a sudden there's a body in the coffin, and they're like, what the hell's going on? And then the body comes to life, and it's this very pale and tight-skinned, to-the-bone guy, and he's got a purple cape on and, like, you know, old clothes and stuff. And then he starts to hover, and then, like, it's revealed that he's a vampire, and he wants to, you know, attack them because he's saying how thirsty he is. But he doesn't have his fangs, and he doesn't understand what's going on. And he doesn't understand what time he's in, because the two people in front of him don't look anything like the people of his time. And then it's revealed that it's a time-traveling book. Wahaha. Much like how Night in Terror Tower gave that same magical kind of time-traveling feel. This gave that same magical time-traveling feel. Loved it. It was so quick. It's the span of a few hours, basically. It's not like many days later. It's like this happens within hours. And I love how fast this is. Definitely within my top 10 of the Goosebumps series, because it's just so quick and it's very entertaining. So the kids then open up the Vampire Breath again, and it encases them in the fog, and then they all travel back in time to Count Nightwing's time period, because it's revealed then if they go back to Count Nightwing's time period, obviously he had his fangs at that point, and he can drink again, and he wants to turn them into vampires and drink them prior to turning them into vampires. So he takes them as prisoner. They get back to 1880 in Camp Nightwing. I keep saying Camp Nightwing. Camp Nightwing was a camp, right? That was the Camp Nightmare that we were talking about at one point. That's like one of the books. So it's Count Nightwing. That's the character's name. Takes them to Castle Nightwing. There we go. Where there's many a plethora of rooms filled with coffins filled with vampires, but there's also many a rooms filled with empty Vampire Breath bottles. So the objective of Count Nightwing is to find a full bottle that he remembers stashing somewhere to get his fangs back, to get his memory back, because he's not all there right now. He needs his memory back, and that's what the magic of this particular Vampire Breath potion is, the fog that comes out of it. So Kara and Freddy are trying to escape. They meet this other 12-year-old who happens to be another vampire named Gwendolyn, who's trying to take them for herself. Count Nightwing. I'm never going to get it right. Count Nightwing gets them back, and then there's a scuffle in an empty room of where's the full bottle. They find the full bottle, and then it's opened, and then they go back to the present time period of the 90s. They fight again in the basement, and then Freddy's parents come back, and then Freddy's mom's like, "Oh, Dad, you're awake." After the vampire's like, "Cynthia, is that you?" And it turns out that Freddy's mom and dad are actually vampires, and Freddy's mom's dad is actually Count Nightwing. And then Freddy is technically the grandson of Count Nightwing. And he's like, wait a minute. Am I a vampire? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, well, when am I getting my fangs? And they're like, yeah, you're too young. 100 more years, you'll get your fangs. And then they find the Cynthia's father, Count Nightwing, goes into one of the corner basement's bathroom, where he finds his teeth that were in a glass this entire time. So he puts his fangs in, and then the three adults go on a hunting adventure as they turn into bats and fly away to go drink the night away. And so Freddy and Kara go into the bathroom and check the medicine cabinet, and they're like, we've never actually used this bathroom. It's just like here. And they see a bottle, a green bottle. So the blue bottle says vampire breath, and the green glass bottle says werewolf sweat. And they open it up, inadvertently get splashed, and then Kara starts to grow. So it's no matter of, is she a werewolf the entire time? Is she becoming a werewolf because of the sweat? So many what happens next questions that don't need answers, and that's fine. And that's why I really like this book, because it was coherent, it was fresh, it was quick, brings that time travel magic back into effect where we haven't seen really since Cuckoo Clock of Doom and Night of Terror Tower. And now we have Vampire Breath. So those are the three that I can remember off the top of my head that stick out, where time travel was a main focal point of the plot point. So Vampire Breath, book 49 in R.L. Stine's Goosebumps original series. Absolutely epic, epic tale. 49 books in, and it's still amazing. Very excited. So we have 13 left. We can do this. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.